Welcome back. It's James Kalm, the guy on the bike. And I didn't hit that car, but I'm bringing you another half-assed production. We're here at the Michael Rosenfeld Gallery. And wanted to bring you along and take a little tour of this exhibition by Charmion von Wiegand. This is a wonderful show. We're actually going to buttonhole Michael Rosenfeld and get him to talk a little bit about the show. Tell us about the show, Michael.
Well, this is an exhibition of Charmion von Wiegand's work.
Charmion von Wiegand, yes. Yep. And I've been a fan of hers for a long time.
And it's something of a retrospective. Charmion was a spiritual abstract artist who was a relatively traditional painter and a writer during the 1920s and 30s.
Yes.
And in the 40s, when Mondrian came to America, she and Mondrian were very, very close.
Well, she sponsored his immigration, didn't she? Wasn't she one of the two people that sponsored him?
Exactly. And Mondrian opened her world up to spirituality, and Charmion von Wiegand became a spiritual abstract artist because of Mondrian's influences. And after Mondrian died, Charmion continued exploring theosophy, and she discovered Tibetan Buddhism in the late 40s and early 50s.
And she converted, didn't she? She became, became a Buddhist.
And in the early 50s, you start to see the forms of mandalas and tantric designs and thangkas. These two paintings from 1951 and 1952 are two of the earliest paintings which clearly illustrate the profound influence of Tibetan Buddhism. And for the next...
and these are small. These are what, about 12 by 10 inches, something like that?
Exactly.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And for the next 20 years, her art is focused on exploring abstraction, and the compositions and the design of the works is very, very meticulous. The combinations of colors and forms all have specific meaning to her, that they're extremely complex designs.
She had kind of a whole system of colors and forms, and certain, like an upward turned triangle means a certain thing, and downward turns means a different thing, and kind of a whole language that she developed, didn't she?
But the language really came out of Tibetan Buddhism.
Yes.
And she was quite a scholar.
She was also kind of what I would call a proto-feminist, and kind of a proto-hipster, one of these people that was just kind of out ahead of everyone else and working along. She was also president of the American Abstract Artists for a couple of years.
Exactly, and that what's so interesting is that the Charmion von Wiegand exhibition is on view at the same time as an exhibition of American Abstraction from 1930 to 1945.
Yeah, that's a lovely show.
And what's so interesting to me is that whereas that so many of the artists who were included in the other group exhibition were members of the American Abstract Artists, which was a group formed in 1937. Charmion becomes a member in the mid-1940s, and she's president of the organization at some point. I don't remember the exact dates. However, what Charmion von Wiegand does with abstraction is so much more personal and so much more I dare say creative
and unique.
And unique. her vocabulary and the sincerity and the integrity of the personal expression is unlike the other artists who were working before her.
Yes. Anyway, well, thank you for giving us a little chat and a little introduction to Charmion von Wiegand. And anyway, I'm going to walk around and see the rest of the show, but thanks a lot, Michael Rosenfeld.
Good, thank you.
Well, I think we'll come in here and start looking at some of this work from the mid-40s. This is an example of her, I guess you'd call it the biomorphic paintings. And this is Untitled from 1945, oil on canvas 16 by 12 inches. I was talking to Michael a little bit about this, and he was saying that he was kind of part of his idea was to show more of this kind of biomorphic abstraction, because a lot of people were familiar with her geometric, I guess what you call Neo-Plasticism, but that was almost too tied to Mondrian. Oh, actually, I think she's a very good colorist too. This is titled Nautical Form, 1946-47. 28 by 22 inches, and it's little black stripes, very nice. This is titled The Germination Dance, 1948. Now she's got a very, I guess what I would call a pretty clean, smooth style, and in many ways, this was kind of going against a lot of the abstract expressionism, the dripping, spilling, pouring, slathering the paint on that maybe de Kooning, Pollock, and Gottlieb and those guys were doing. This is Germination, 1948. Well, this piece is titled The Paradise Gambit, and it's 45 by 40 inches. Oh, this is a beauty. And this is prosaic lattice, and it's gouache. Thank you. Well, this is a large piece from 1969 called Vajrayana. And, there's some very subtle color things going on in here with the pinks and the off-whites. I think it's nice that she is able to kind of take some classic ideas of like the mandala and some of the other mystical forms and sort of combine that with the maybe the coolness and the precision of Mondrian, and come up with these very nice, very crisp designs. This is Invocation to the Abi Buddha, 6870, and it's 50 by 27. I'll just glance at some of these smaller pieces. Actually, I think that she does a great job with her blacks. This is a nice little gouache. This is number 163, the letter Hum, 1962, 16.5 by 12.5 inches. I think this one is one of the nicest of the little pieces here as well. This is 179. Manipura Chakra, the Navel Lotus, 1962. And this is another beautiful vertical piece. And as I'm looking at this, I thought the background was black, but this is actually a dark green. Another beautifully colored piece. This is Mandala of the White Arrow. And Mandala of the Diamond Scepter. These are 1964. And her use of gouache is really wonderful. She's able to get a very nice velvety tone. Now, I was speaking with Michael, and we were talking about Charmion's later life, and she donated her estate to a Buddhist monk who she kind of nurtured when he was younger and came to the United States in the early 60s, and then she converted to Buddhism and spent time in the ashram, I guess, in Tibet. And she left all of her worldly possessions to these monks. This is the Abbey Buddha, 1969 to 70. And Charmion was still alive when I came to New York in the late 70s. Oh, this is a wonderful piece. This is the Diamond Path, 1966, 67, 28 1/4 by 21 1/4. And you could actually cut out little pieces of these and blow them up into beautiful paintings that would look like an Ellsworth Kelly or something. Well, I think we'll end the program looking at this piece. It's Untitled from 1964, Oil on Masonite. So, this has been James Kalm reporting on Charmion von Wiegand at the Michael Rosenfeld Gallery here on the western edge of Chelsea. Thank you, Kate. You can really wail.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.